Have you ever felt a quiet ache? A sense that something precious might be slipping away, even as you enter what should be your golden years? Perhaps you've noticed friends or family members, vibrant just a few years ago, now seem to carry a persistent weight, a quiet unhappiness that just wasn't there before. It's a painful reality, isn't it? This feeling that the joy and vitality we associate with later life can sometimes be overshadowed by a sense of loss or disconnect. What if I told you that often? This isn't an inevitable part of aging, but rather the unintended consequence of a few common, yet utterly shocking, mistakes we often make as we get older. The secret to sustained happiness, vibrancy, and fulfillment in your later years isn't about grand gestures or winning the lottery. It's about recognizing and avoiding these subtle traps that many unknowingly fall into. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 shocking mistakes older people make that quietly, but powerfully, erode their happiness. These aren't the obvious pitfalls, but the silent destroyers of joy that can leave you feeling adrift. We'll explore each one, not to point fingers, but to empower you with the understanding and tools to reclaim your best life. And trust me, you'll want to watch to the very end for something that will truly surprise you. Something that can instantly shift your perspective and boost your happiness today. So, let's dive straight into the very first, and perhaps most insidious, mistake that can subtly undermine your happiness as you age: a stubborn refusal to embrace change, often manifested as an almost desperate clinging to the past. Now, I understand this might sound a bit harsh, and it's certainly not something anyone does intentionally. It's a very natural human tendency to find comfort in what's familiar, in the routines and memories that have shaped us. After all, the past holds a wealth of cherished moments, successful endeavors, and the very foundation of who we are. But here's the crucial point when that comfort turns into a rigid resistance to anything new. When you find yourself constantly saying, "Things aren't like they used to be," or "I preferred it in my day," you unknowingly build a wall around your present happiness. Think about it. Our world is constantly evolving, at a pace faster than ever before. New technologies emerge, social norms shift. Even the simple things like how we communicate or access information are in perpetual motion. If we cling so tightly to the past, we risk becoming disconnected from the vibrant current of life happening all around us. We might miss out on incredible new experiences, new ways to connect with loved ones, or simply the sheer joy of discovery. This isn't about abandoning your cherished memories or forgetting your roots. It's about making space for new growth, new stories, and new connections to form. When we resist change, we often find ourselves feeling frustrated, out of sync, and increasingly isolated, not because the world has left us behind, but because we've chosen not to step forward with it. The impact of this mistake can be profound. It can manifest as a persistent grumbling about modern conveniences, a reluctance to try new hobbies, or even a strained relationship with younger family members who live in a different world. Imagine your grandchild trying to show you a funny video on their phone, and your immediate reaction is to dismiss it as just another screen. Or perhaps your community group decides to try an online meeting, and you dig your heels in, insisting on the old way, even if it means missing out on connecting with people. These small moments, over time, accumulate into a significant barrier to joy. You start to feel left out, irrelevant, and even a little bit bitter, simply because you're fighting a tide that's naturally flowing. So, what's the antidote to this silent happiness destroyer? It's surprisingly simple, though it requires a shift in mindset. Cultivate curiosity and embrace a beginner's mind. See new technologies, new social trends, or new ways of doing things not as threats to your established world, but as opportunities to learn, adapt, and expand your horizons. Could you try learning to use that smartphone app your grandchild loves? Or perhaps explore a new type of music or art that's completely different from what you're used to? Maybe even consider a new hobby that leverages modern tools, like digital photography or online crafting communities. It doesn't mean you have to become an expert overnight, but the very act of trying, of opening yourself up to something unfamiliar, sends a powerful message to your brain. I am still growing. I am still capable. I am still engaged. Think of it this way: your life story isn't finished. There are still chapters waiting to be written. And just like a good book, new characters, new settings, and unexpected plot twists can make the journey even richer. By leaning into change, by saying yes to new experiences rather than no, you're not only staying connected to the world, but you're actively creating new pathways for joy and fulfillment to enter your life. It's about understanding that while the past is a beautiful reference point, the present is where life is truly lived, and the future holds exciting possibilities. When you let go of the need for everything to remain the same, you free up an enormous amount of mental and emotional energy that can be redirected towards truly enjoying the now. It's a powerful step towards unlocking a more vibrant, engaged, and genuinely happier existence. And speaking of connection, that brings us seamlessly to the next crucial mistake many older people make that can quietly erode their happiness. The second shocking mistake, one that often creeps in unnoticed, is the slow, subtle erosion of social connections and, ultimately, a retreat into isolation. It's so easy to let this happen. Isn't it? Life changes? Friends move away. Or perhaps they're not as active as they once were. Family might be busy with their own lives, or live far away. We might find ourselves content with our routines, our comfortable home, and the thought of stepping out, making new friends, or maintaining old connections can feel like effort. But here's the stark truth. Humans are profoundly social creatures. We thrive on connection, on sharing, on being seen and understood by others. When those connections wither, a vital part of our happiness withers too. Imagine a vibrant garden. If you stop watering the plants, if you don't tend to them, they don't just instantly die. They slowly fade, their colors dull, and eventually, they wilt. Our social connections are exactly like that. It's not about grand parties or a packed social calendar. It's about the small, consistent efforts: a phone call to an old friend, a regular coffee date, joining a community group, saying hello to your neighbors. When we let these small acts slide, when we assume others will always reach out, or that our existing connections are enough to sustain us without effort, we risk becoming increasingly lonely. And loneliness, my friends, is a silent epidemic in our later years. It doesn't just feel bad. It has a profound impact on both our mental and physical health, leading to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and even physical ailments. The joy that comes from shared laughter, from a comforting presence, from feeling like you belong, slowly fades away when isolation sets in. So, how do we counteract this powerful happiness destroyer? It begins with intentionality. Make a conscious effort to nurture your existing relationships and actively seek out new connections. This could mean scheduling a weekly video call with a distant relative, inviting a neighbor for tea, or rejoining a club or hobby group you once enjoyed. Look for opportunities in your community senior centers, volunteer organizations, adult education classes, even local walking groups. The key is to be proactive. Don't wait for others to initiate. Be the initiator. Remember, connection isn't always about finding a whole new circle of friends. Sometimes, it's simply about deepening the bonds you already have. A simple text message to check in, an offer to help with a small task, or just a genuine conversation can be incredibly powerful. When you prioritize social engagement, you're not just filling your calendar, you're filling your heart and recharging your spirit, proving to yourself that you are valued, seen, and an important part of the fabric of life. Now, moving on to the third significant mistake, one that directly impacts our mental vitality and zest for life, The mistaken belief that once you reach a certain age, your learning journey is over, leading to a cessation of mental stimulation. It's a common misconception, isn't it, that after decades of work, of raising families, of accumulating knowledge, we've earned the right to switch off our brains and just coast. But the human brain, much like a muscle, thrives on exercise when we stop challenging it, when we stop engaging with new information or solving problems. It begins to lose its sharpness, its agility, and even its capacity for joy. A stagnant mind is often a less happy mind. Consider the feeling of intellectual curiosity, that spark of wanting to know more, to understand something new. It's a fundamental human trait that brings immense satisfaction when we allow that spark to dim. When our daily routine becomes purely rote and predictable, we miss out on the incredible pleasure of discovery. This isn't just about avoiding memory loss. It's about keeping life interesting, about feeling competent and engaged. Imagine spending your days watching the same shows, reading the same types of books, or engaging in the same conversations, day in and day out. While comfort is good, a complete lack of novelty can lead to boredom, apathy, and a pervasive sense of unfulfillment. Your world shrinks, not because of external limitations, but because you've stopped expanding it from within. The solution here is to actively cultivate a habit of lifelong learning. And this doesn't mean enrolling in a university degree, though if that appeals to you, go for it. It could be as simple as picking up a book on a topic you know nothing about, trying to learn a few phrases in a new language, doing challenging puzzles like Sudoku or crosswords, or even diving into online courses that pique your interest. Many museums and libraries offer free workshops and lectures. The internet is a vast ocean of knowledge, from documentaries to tutorials on almost anything you can imagine. The key is to seek out novelty and intellectual challenge regularly. When you learn something new, you create new neural pathways, keeping your brain nimble and resilient. You also gain new perspectives, new conversation starters, and a renewed sense of purpose. It's about reminding yourself that you are still capable of growth, still capable of mastering new skills, and still capable of being fascinated by the world. This mental agility feeds directly into your overall happiness and sense of worth. And while nurturing our minds is crucial, we can't forget the vessel that carries us through life, which brings us to the fourth significant happiness destroyer: failing to prioritize physical health and movement. It's easy to dismiss aches and pains as just part of getting older, or to tell ourselves we're past our prime when it comes to physical activity. But this mindset is one of the most damaging to our happiness. Our physical well-being is inextricably linked to our mental and emotional states. When our bodies feel sluggish, achy, or weak, it's incredibly difficult for our spirits to soar. Conversely, even small improvements in physical health can create a ripple effect of increased energy, better mood, and a greater capacity to enjoy life. Think about how you feel on a day when you've been sedentary versus a day when you've taken a brisk walk or engaged in some gentle activity. The difference is palpable, isn't it? Prolonged inactivity doesn't just lead to physical decline. It impacts our sleep, our digestion, our mood, and even our cognitive function. When we neglect our bodies, we often find ourselves caught in a vicious cycle, feeling tired. So we do less, doing less. So we feel weaker, feeling weaker. So we're even less inclined to move. This can lead to a sense of helplessness, increased pain, and a significant reduction in our ability to participate in activities we once loved. The joy of a long walk, the ease of moving around your home, the simple pleasure of feeling strong and capable. These things slowly slip away if we don't actively work to maintain them. The powerful antidote here is consistent, gentle movement tailored to your capabilities. This isn't about running marathons or lifting heavy weights, unless that's what genuinely brings you joy and is safe for you. It's about finding activities that you enjoy and making them a regular part of your routine. This could be daily walks, gentle yoga or stretching, swimming, dancing, gardening, or even chair exercises. The key is consistency and finding something that makes you feel good, not just something you feel you should do. Even 10 or 15 minutes of mindful movement each day can make a profound difference. It boosts circulation, improves mood through endorphins, enhances sleep quality, and strengthens your muscles and bones, beyond just exercise. It's also about mindful eating, nourishing your body with fresh, wholesome foods that give you energy rather than drain it. When you make even small, consistent efforts to care for your body, you'll be amazed at how much more energy, vitality, and indeed, happiness you experience. It's about honoring your body as the incredible vehicle it is, allowing it to carry you through many more years of joy and adventure. Now, as we approach the final, perhaps most surprising mistake, let's consider how we frame our past and future. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and perhaps most insidious mistake, one that truly saps the joy out of the present, the tendency to dwell excessively on past regrets while simultaneously harboring an overwhelming fear of the future. It's a delicate balance. Isn't it? Our lives are long, and it's natural to look back and sometimes wish we'd done things differently, or to look forward and feel a natural apprehension about what might come. But when these reflections become all-consuming, when the past becomes a prison of what-ifs and the future a terrifying unknown, our ability to experience happiness in the here and now is completely stifled. Imagine yourself constantly replaying old tapes in your mind, tapes of missed opportunities, perceived failures, or even harsh words exchanged years ago. Each replay brings a fresh wave of sorrow, regret, or even anger. This mental loop isn't just unproductive, it's emotionally draining. It prevents you from fully engaging with the present moment, from appreciating the beauty and blessings that surround you right now. You're physically in the present, but emotionally and mentally, you're stuck in a past that can't be changed. This isn't about ignoring your history, but about letting it define and torment your present. Similarly, when the future is seen only through the lens of potential loss, illness, or loneliness, every day becomes tinged with anxiety. This fear isn't a protective shield. It's a heavy cloak that smothers hope and joy, making it impossible to plan, dream, or even simply relax. The truth is, neither the past nor the future truly exists in the moment you are living. The only real moment you have is now. The profound impact of this mistake is that it robs you of your peace. Regret ties you to what cannot be undone, while fear of the future paralyzes you from moving forward. You might find yourself withdrawing from new experiences, avoiding challenges, or simply feeling a persistent sense of unease, all because your mind is constantly projecting negative scenarios or reliving painful ones. This isn't just about feeling a bit down. It can lead to chronic stress, sleep disturbances, and a pervasive sense of hopelessness, ultimately destroying your capacity for simple, everyday happiness. You're too busy fighting battles that have already been fought, or battles that may never even materialize, to truly enjoy the quiet moments of beauty and connection that are available to you right now. So, what's the transformative shift here? It's about cultivating a deep sense of presence and learning to practice self-compassion for past regrets. Acknowledge them, learn any lessons you can, and then consciously choose to release them. Understand that you did the best you could with the knowledge and circumstances you had at the time. Forgive yourself. Extend the same grace you would offer a dear friend, and then gently turn your attention to the present. This isn't about forgetting, but about processing and moving on. For the future, recognize that much of what we fear is outside of our control. Instead of succumbing to worry, focus on what you can control today: your attitude, your actions, and your commitment to living fully. Practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your senses, to the taste of your food, the warmth of the sun, the sound of birdsong. Engage fully in conversations. Truly listen, and be present with those you love. A powerful exercise is to practice gratitude each day. Take a few moments to genuinely appreciate what is good in your life, no matter how small. This shifts your focus from what was lost, or what might be lost, to what you currently possess. It's about choosing to live now, with curiosity and courage, rather than constantly looking backward or forward with dread. When you release the grip of regret and fear, you create vast space for joy, peace, and appreciation to flourish. You reclaim your agency and realize that while you can't control everything, you absolutely can control how you choose to experience your life. Day by day, moment by moment, this commitment to presence is perhaps the most powerful tool for fostering lasting happiness. Now, we've walked through these 5 shocking mistakes together, haven't we? We started by talking about the subtle trap of clinging to the past and resisting change, which can leave us feeling disconnected and out of sync. Then, we explored the silent impact of neglecting our social connections, leading to loneliness and a profound erosion of joy. We also delved into the crucial importance of lifelong learning and keeping our minds stimulated, countering the risk of mental stagnation and boredom. And we tackled the fundamental need to prioritize our physical health and movement, understanding that a strong body supports a vibrant spirit. Finally, we just discussed the immense freedom that comes from releasing the burden of past regrets and the paralyzing fear of the future, allowing us to truly live in the present moment. You see, none of these mistakes are about grand failures or intentional missteps. They are often subtle habits, quiet choices, or unconscious mindsets that, over time, can chip away at the very fabric of our happiness. But here's the wonderfully encouraging truth: every single one of them can be reversed. Small changes, consistent effort, and a shift in perspective can make a world of difference. Remember, your golden years are meant to be a period of profound joy, growth, and fulfillment. You have a wealth of experience, wisdom, and resilience within you. It's never too late to cultivate new habits, forge new connections, or embrace a more expansive view of what your life can be. I truly hope this conversation has given you some valuable insights and, more importantly, a sense of hope and empowerment. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these mistakes, or perhaps other insights you've gained on your own journey. Please share your experiences and wisdom in the comments below. Your perspective could be incredibly helpful to someone else watching this video. And if you found this conversation helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps our channel reach more people who could benefit from this message. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on more content designed to help you live your best life at every age. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Live your best life at every age.